Hi and welcome to another episode of Top Volts, and today we're looking at the Mercedes 190 SL. This is the C75, first released in 1964 on their 5th edition catalogue. This was released around, well, the same year as the Austin Healey 3000, with a very similar design, with the bottom all open, the fixed guide with the braids, the RX motor, but very accessible from underneath, but also lovely scale, with all the bumpers beautifully in scale with the car, and a really lovely detailed model as well. They run quite well, considering how simple the underside is. It runs very well. I would say the main issue with this Mercedes, which probably a lot of you find, is with the front axle. With these, whether it's a design flaw in the mold from new, but every one of these I own, they all have that same problem with the front wheels touching the wheel arches either side, and to the point where the wheels sometimes don't even turn, and it is quite a pain. Especially when you rest this on the track and the wheels actually do sit up quite far up into the body of the car. And as you can see, these ones move quite nice and free. That's because what I've done, you cut the axle down, and what you want the wheels to be touching the holders, that, like you could say, the stays either side that hold the front axle in place. When you first get the car, you will find that there's a bit of a gap in between the wheel and this point. What you want to do is cut that axle down. You probably want to cut about 2 mil off the axle, file it, and then put the wheels back on again, and then make sure that they're pretty much touching. As you can see, there's no play in left or right on that axle, but what it does is it allows the wheels to miss the wheel arches. Some people shave the wheels down and the tyres, but you don't really want to do that. If you could just literally cut the axle, I could probably get it another 0.5 mil off that if I wanted to, if I wanted that to run even freer. But I've tried this on the track, and that actually moves, more than enough for what it needs. But today we'll give this a light oil, because I've already cleaned this recently. So we'll just give this motor a light oil because it feels a little bit stiff, and then we'll run this motor up, and just make sure that the car's operating still as it should. But overall, a really lovely model, one I do quite enjoy looking at as well. It is some lovely detail on there, and I particularly like the colour on this one as well. So we'll put a bit of oil in this motor. So where we like to put the oil is literally down on the centre spine, just in front of this cotton or sponge, you could say, on the centre spine. So we just put a drop literally on the centre there, and then again just up by the pinion, just up the top here. And you really don't need to put a lot in there at all. And I think on this, because it's all quite tight, I might put it just a little bit on the axle there. And if you hold the motor upright, allowing that oil to travel down, and as you're turning that, you can actually feel it actually freeing up, even as I turn it. Another good point to make sometimes with these RX motors, if I get like what I've just noticed on this one here, you have your 2 cables coming from your pickups. One go into the sheathed side of the spring, which holds the brushes in place. What you want to make sure is this cable that you've got over here, which is all spurred over, that shouldn't be like that. Because what that's actually doing, if that touches the frame of the motor, it's just going to arc. So the idea of the sheath is to stop this point of contact to the brush making contact with the body shell, with the frame of the motor, because the frame of the motor is the opposite brush's contact. as you can see, the other cable goes to the side of the motor. So if this touches the body, this motor won't run, and all you end up doing is burning your transformer out. So what I need to do is initially is I'm going to wind that off, and I'll cut that back. So I'll just snip that off. Perfect. Now that should run absolutely fine. We're off it onto the track now, and then run this motor up. Okay, so we'll just run this motor up, make sure it is still operating as it should. I'm just going to lift the rear wheels slightly and increase. So it came on really nice. And I'll increase the volts. Perfect. Okay, well, thank you for watching my video. I hope you've enjoyed the content and found the tips of some use. As always, if you have any helpful tips or information on this car that you would like to share, please leave it in the comments section. I'll do my best to get back to you. But thank you very much, and I'll see you at the next one.